Hello again, and everything is now nice and baked and ready to be sanded. So right now we have the yellow calcite in Pardo and in Primo. So let's see how it looks after it gets sanded. Number one. As I said, I wasn't going to mess up too much with the edges because I'm going to fix them when sanding. Make sure that I get my stuff right in the proper order. So I got the 400. Where's my 1000? This is my 1000. Okay, I am good. So let's start first. I know I have a few that needed some of the edges fixed, and I'm going with the 240 for that. Hello again. Hi, Joaquin. Hi, Sherry. So right now I am just taking care of those edges. And yes, I do quench. I always quench because I know that I've seen a lot of experiments and tests, and I'm sorry, but I think that there is a huge difference. Not only that, but if you have thicker pieces, you know how sometimes when you have something very thick, it may crack as it cools off. And that is because the center doesn't cool off at the same rate as the outside. So if you quench it in ice water right as soon as your oven dings, you'll ensure that everything cools off at the same rate. So you'll avoid the cracking. Hi, Teresa. And remember, I said so many times, the secret to a nice buffing, and actually it's not just one, but the first is proper sanding. If you do not sand properly, you will not get a good shine. Number two, you must have a power tool that goes over 8,000 rotations per minute. Because if it's less than that, it doesn't rotate fast enough to um, do a good job. Hi, Rosie. You're welcome. So I did the 240. Now I'm doing the 400. And remember, I showed you how to do the sanding easier. If your hands are not that terrific. And as I said, I do really need to do a review on Polyfast because it is a wonderful machine, but it doesn't last long. And they might be awesome people with awesome customer service, but what's the use of it? I think that they are going in. That's why they switched to presenting the Polyfast as a utensil for peeling skin and nails and toes and whatever, because probably they started losing money. They should have just changed the wherever they were manufacturing it. Because the idea is excellent, the machine is good and does a good job, but it's too flimsy. So I might have to stand up to do this because it tires my hands to hold them up. It's easier to do it standing up. And remember, in the case of transparent stones, most of the time you want to do them uh, in an open bezel. So if you do them in an open bezel, you'd better sand the back as well, because that is very important. Okay, no, I don't have to sand the ice cube. So how's everybody doing? Let's do a little bit of chit chat while I'm sanding here. And are there any questions that I can answer for you up to now? But yeah, generally speaking, if you don't have any edges to fix or anything, the best is to start with the 400. Okay. Oh, absolutely. And it does. It does. There is a difference. I mean, if your clay is conditioned the way it's supposed to be, it will. Depends. Depends on the piece. On some, I do those bales made out of clay. On some, I would insert a jump ring. I personally prefer the pinch bales because they are so easy to attach and I don't have to worry about closing jump rings and all that. But it depends. It depends entirely on the piece. On some pieces, you have to put the bale in a specific way, especially like when you're doing the something that is inspired by or in the style of Native American jewelry. There you have to be very careful because you're, especially if you do it in the Native American style, not inspired by. Because remember, when I did the Native American style set, I described there that there are specific things that you find in the Native American jewelry, and that if you want to do it in that style, and if you declare you're doing it in that style, you're not really allowed to change anything. Personal touches mean inspired by. And if you're doing something Native American style, then they have the bales attached to a ring, and the ring is part of the pendant. Hi, Carrie. Welcome back. But yeah, as I said, it depends a lot. On some of them, when you have, especially when you have a pendant that has a very thin top where it gets attached, obviously you want something like a pinch bail. On some pendants that are very thick on the top, a pinch bail would not work. It's the best to insert one of those jump rings and then put another bail on that. On some pieces, the bails made on the back work better. But again, it depends a lot. My personal preference, yeah, are pinch bails just because, and the polymer clay bails, just because I don't have to fight so much with pinching. Because, you know, I have issues with pinching. Somebody's messaging me. Sorry, I cannot answer messages right now. Okay. So yeah, the hardest are the first parts of the sanding process, because that's when you want to get your whole thing perfectly nice and correct. The higher grits are just for refining the shine. They are not that much. I showed that, no, after. No, after the baking. What did I do recently with the pinch bale? I did something recently with the pinch bale. You don't actually even have to make holes because the polymer clay is soft enough that you can directly squeeze the pinch bale. But I prefer to put holes because with my hands I might do it wrong. So I just make a little bit of a hole. But I don't know, I have wet hands, so I cannot search right now. But I know that I did recently a tutorial where I used the pinch bale. I'm trying to remember what it was. It was not on the last one, or the lapis. It was not the fairy paint pendant. I'll have to look because I don't remember which of them it was. But I know that I did it in the last 2 weeks. You're welcome. Okay, I think I did not do the back of that one. Now it drives me nuts that I cannot remember. It was not the fairy pendants. Oh yes. The alien landscape. The alien landscape Mokumegane. I used the pinch bale on the. I think that I used the pinch bale on the pendant and on the earrings, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, yeah. I need to order some more because I'm running low. Yes, they are. So they make such a difference between the compared to the muslin wheels. It's unbelievable. Okay, next the 600. Now remember, at the very beginning, you don't want to go too fast, skipping grits, because the lower grits will scratch the polymer clay. And if you skip too fast and you go to too high of a grit, the too high of a grit won't be able to uh, fix the scratches of a lower grit. Once you get to 1000, yeah, you can go faster. I usually go 1000 directly to 2000. But up to 1000, you want to go fairly slow into changing grids. I did not do the back of it. You don't have to go super duper on the back, just make it be a little shiny. And I have also put in the Amazon influencer store. You'll find there's a set, a kit with like 6 different colors of pinch bales, and not only that, I put several sets, but also some separate pinch bales that are just simple pinch bales, and then I've put some bales that have all kinds of nice designs on them, Celtic knots and stuff like that. Those are a little bit more expensive, but I think that they are totally worth it. And people don't realize how much the quality of the findings they use influences the willingness to purchase of a potential customer, because it's different when you have just a clumsy done or just simple jumping bail, and different if your bail has some kind of shine to it. Or I always suggest that you do, if you make polymer clay bales, the ones that show, not the ones on the back, you can always attach some rhinestones and stuff to make them prettier. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, I just wish I didn't have so many issues with my hands, but you'll see how pretty the end result will be. And you can do these with a brighter yellow, or you can do them with a more brownish yellow. It's up to you. And I remember that I did one that's got a tinge of, oh, somebody's calling me now, with a little tinge of brown that actually looks like orange. Belt sander wouldn't work. You cannot use a wet sandpaper on a belt sander. If you could, oh yeah, man, I would have gotten that already. Okay, 2 more. We are past the middle, so now it will go much faster. Because I only have to do the 1000 and the 2000 now. But you can already see, I guess, if the camera would let me show you. Come on. I will put on the other camera to show you the close-ups. Okay, there you go. Can you see it? So this is the Primo. Okay. Now we can get to the 1000. There we go. Oh. Yeah, but those are horribly expensive. I mean, it would be easier to just buy a jewel tool, you know? And a jewel tool with everything, I think it would run like $700. And I'm sure that those things for polishing gemstones are more expensive than that when you get everything that goes with it. The camera will let me show you a little bit of the Pardo. Come on. You might not want to. Come on. Sometimes it's so irritating. It just doesn't want to. I'll show you with the other camera on close up. Okay. Yeah, I know. I mean, that is, I mean, probably for somebody who does a lot of that stuff, or who has a whole bunch of money, it's a good thing, but yeah, and you'll see how pretty they are after buffing too. But see, it's very easy to make. And again, this is not to say that I will not make tutorials on these specific stones. I will, on everything that I showed you. But those will be a little bit more complicated and look even more realistic. But I'm just trying to show you how you can get something looking decently realistic without having a lot of knowledge, just by researching a little bit and figuring out how you're supposed to imitate the structure of a mineral. Because that's the whole deal. You're trying to imitate something that formed over time. Almost done. Just the 2000 left. But you can see it goes fairly fast when you sand like this with the holding on the sandpaper and moving the cabochon. It goes much faster. And see how I'm using this between my fingers for the area that's domed. And that allows me to grip much better. And always, don't forget always to do the very top, because that's going to be the area that needs to shine the best. No, thank you, Carrie. But no, if you study a little bit, if you do a little bit of research, it's not that hard. You know, something that would allow you to figure out if the colors that you see are pigment colors or are light colors, how is the stone actually formed. Yes, obviously, because of the knowledge, I would probably figure it out faster or figure out certain ways. Because, like, for the petition, for example, I actually studied a lot, including how gemstones are recreated in the lab. Because, and once you understand how a mineral has formed, then you can have a better understanding of how you should manipulate the clay to imitate the natural process of the stone being created. Yeah, I will do another one with the faux amethyst because the one that I did, I used too much of the ametrine. I was used to making it with the amethyst color, and I don't have the amethyst color, so I use the ametrine, and the ametrine is way too strong, and I put about 4 or 5 times more than I should have, so it didn't come up looking like amethyst. It looks more like purple obsidian out of anything. So I will redo the amethyst. But I have a chevron amethyst tutorial up if you want to look at it. Yeah, maybe he can get you something. Why don't you talk to him about creating a better sanding tool for us? One that can go in water to replace the polyfast. Actually, did find something similar, but with a much smaller sanding surface, and they also use their own little pieces of sandpaper. And it was about the same price as polyfast, only that it's corded, it's not cordless. Almost there. Yeah, a lot of people told me they are binge watching. It takes a while. I was calculating, considering an average time of 20 minutes per video, and I have 330. This would be the 335th, I think. I think you need to watch continuously for a week or more to see them, but I mean 24/7. It takes a while. That's why sometimes I'm telling myself I can easily take a week off if I'm too tired, and people would still have stuff to watch. Because I kind of doubt that anybody watched absolutely all my tutorials. Or if they are very few people. I mean, heck, I even forget what I did and didn't do. I have sometimes to check, did I do this? Did I cover this already? Because I don't like to repeat myself. I'm not into letting. I mean, yeah, I will use the same media like I did with the waxes, but I'm doing something different every time. And I don't like to beat a dead horse until it starts falling apart. Okay. Now let me get this in the kitchen out of the way because I don't like to have water near my computer. And I will be back and we'll start buffing. Hello. Oops. Alrighty. Now, let me get these dry and try and catch up. Yeah, agates are very easy to make. Yeah, I don't know if you noticed, but I usually am quite economical when it comes to clay. I don't make a ton of stuff. I'm trying to calculate and use exactly how much I would need for enough examples to make a point, if you want. Now, I will show them to you before I buff them first. So you can see how they look before buffing. And I'm going to actually enable the other camera because, as I said, I can do the oh yes, somebody asked if it's safe to bake the lighting bulb. Yes, it is. Oh, it's 5 o'clock. The bass is playing the anthem. All right, let me enable this for a little bit so I can show you the cabochons before buffing. Okay. I want to show you the super close up so you can see every little. Okay, there we go. So this is Pardo. Let me show you first the Primo so I can get them out of the way. Okay. So Primo. Also Primo. You can see I sanded a little bit on my fingernail polish. And more Primo. And now everything that follows is Pardo. And you'll see at buffing the difference. You can actually go even lighter on this yellow. But because with Pardo, some details you won't see until it gets buffed. Okay, so let me switch again and we'll get on to buffing. Okay, no. Oh, thank you. Should call me Sensei. All right. I might need to replace this wheel soon. Yeah, let me replace the wheel. Sorry, but it's getting kind of worn out. Not yet. Yeah, I need the. I'm sorry, I did it off camera because there's too much stuff on my table. I started working on doing these stash packages, and with my drawer tower being messed up. Hey. Okay, I dropped that one. I'll have to recover it. Okay, I dropped that one too. Okay, this is how it happens, and this is how Connor steals my beads. Because I would drop them because my grip lessens, because I have problems with gripping. And when it's about beads, by the time I recover them, he already stole half of them. Okay, let me recover those. And finish buffing them. Okay, now let me catch up with the chat. Okay. Oh, please, no. No, Professor Clady. Thank you. Thank you, Carrie. Yeah, and I told you that this is how they do in the web. That when you first start them, you're gonna have a little bit of wool flying off because they are not stitched, and that's what you want because the stitched ones will have we will leave gouges. Yes, yes, you're correct, Joaquin. You can do that. Thank you, Sherry. Oh yeah, no, not the cabs. He's stealing when I do beads. I usually, when a bead flies, I just let it be and I go to the next one. And by the end of me finishing all the beads I have to buff, he already took off with half of the ones that are on the floor. Yeah, see, it doesn't always work, but the problem is it's just because of my hands not working that good. See, this one I should have. I don't know if it's a buffing thing or a sanding thing. It looks like a sanding thing. Didn't buff properly. A lot of times I would go back to sanding when an area doesn't buff correctly. Oh yes, he does. At one point he kept playing with the a styrofoam popcorn and I couldn't figure out where he was getting them from. And I found his cache. He's got a little cat cave behind the couch. It's just like a box, that's special for cats. There will be five this fall, and Whisper will be 12. He's getting old. Yes, he's still my sweetie pie. But let me see if this one will want to show you. If not, I'll just. Okay, so this is part primo. I'll still show you on the other one so you can see the translucence. This is the primo. This is primo too. So you can see the fractures are very nicely done with the mica slash chalk pastel. They look exactly like in the, it doesn't show, the camera doesn't show any shininess, and I can assure you that there is some shininess here and there on some fractures. Let's see, the third primo. My hands are getting tired of holding up. Okay, and it just went kaboom. Okay, let me switch camera. Okay, so we are talking still primo. And of course, if it weren't in front of the camera, I would sand them more and even buff them more, and I will after the live. But remember, with my hands in certain positions don't work very good. So these were all primos. Now let's see the Pardos. I'm sorry I don't have any polished calcite crystal. But I can assure you that this is how calcite crystal tumbled and polished pretty much looks like. Let me try and get it a little darker. Maybe it will show the. No. Trying to position the camera better. There we go. This should be good. Okay. I got better focus and coloring. So yeah, this is super, super close so I can show you all the little fractures and details and all that. Yes, you can see it imitates very good the crystalline structure. Let me grab another one. Again, the Primo, so you can see that even in Primo it's very well imitated. Maybe a little bit too rounded for my own personal taste. That's why I prefer Pardo. Because see, some of the lines are not as straight as I would love to. Okay, so we are getting back to Pardo. And then I will show you how translucent they are after I show all of them to you in a close-up. What do I have with that little speck here? Because in the translucence, you can see even better the fracturing. You can already see some of the translucence. And don't forget, if you didn't sign yet the Pardo petition, to do so. Now, see, on this one, you can see better that there is the shininess. Can you see it? Right here. Of the mica that imitates the shininess of the fracture in the crystal. Not really. I'll probably just put them in the... Yeah, and you can see here too. I'll probably just put them in the distache. You'll have a lot of my faux gemstone cabs in the distache, I promise you. I know that a lot of people ask me about that, and I will put them in the distache. And the last one. And as I said, I will probably resand them and rebuff them. This one got a little too round things for my own personal taste. Okay, now let me show you the translucency. I'll use this other one again. Whenever I get around to put the packages together, I'm working on them, I promise you. I am working on them. Okay. Trying to get the... If it won't do properly, I'll just turn around the other one. Okay, so this is Primo. And the other one to... Yeah, I'll have to do this other one still. Okay. Let me switch cameras again. Okay, now it should show properly. So, Primo. Primo. Still Primo. I will post the Pardo petition link after this is over, and on the other one too. If you look at my other Clay With Me, the ones that I did Sunday, they all have the petition in the description. And now let's get on to Pardo. And you can see the difference, how more defined the Pardo is, and you can see the fracturing inside much better than with the Primo. See, look here and look how transparent it is. It's transparent enough to see the fractures inside the cabochon. Yes, yes. And it's not inclusions in the calcite, it's just fractures. It's kind of a little bit hard to figure out where I'm supposed to hold it. But you can see it has a lot of translucency. Primo does too, but not to the extent Pardo has. And that will hold one near the other, two of them that have the same shape and I use the same mold for. See, now this one I said that it's got some stuff too rounded. See here, there are some on this area, it's too rounded for calcite. It should be only straight lines. And that's what happened with the Primo ones too. There are that stuff that's too rounded. And yeah, you can see how beautifully translucent it is. Exactly like a crystal. No, this is Primo. This is not Pardo. This is Primo. Look at the thing inside. It's not Pardo. Huh? Is it? Or it's Pardo with the... No, it's Pardo with the clay. That's not brownish. I thought it was brownish, but it's not. It's Pardo with the liquid clay. So yeah, you see how you can see the fractures inside? I'll catch up on the... I'll catch up on the chat after I finish showing you this, because I cannot look both at the screen to see if I'm holding the cabochons properly and look at the chat. Okay, now let's get the two that I have used the same mold, so it's the same thickness. I'm going to try and hold them both. So this is Pardo. This is Primo. Hold on. This is Primo. This is Pardo. You see the difference? It's fairly huge. I'm trying to hold them properly. Oops. Which is sometimes hard. There we go. Much better. And see, it's a pretty big difference. Okay. Let me look at you again. And I'm going to catch up on the chat. Okay. When I do yeah, it's not bad for Primo, not bad at all. When I will do the distache, I always make a YouTube video so I can show all the pieces in the distache. No, they are just the fractures, that's all. Yes, it is. It has beeswax. If you look on my website, I have an article there that presents pretty much all the polymer clays I worked with. And I say there, and if you watch the how to condition Pardo, I state there that it is beeswax based. That's why it takes a special kind of conditioning, not like the regular clays. Let me get this back up here. There we go. There we go. Now we can talk properly. Sorry. So, yeah, that is fine. No worries. No worries, Sherry. Okay, did I miss any question? If I missed any question, if you please can ask it again. Yeah, I'm going to try and figure out if I can find a solution for holding when I mean, that would be for you because I'm fine with my pieces sometimes flying. That's fine for me. I don't know, it might be too processed to have any kind of allergens still in it. Yeah, he definitely should not eat it. That was hilarious. It is because, and that's why we did the petition, because the Viva Decor has a main supplier. I mean, a main importer. Okay, and from that importer, all the people who want to sell Pardo get the Pardo at the wholesale price. Now, except for Trish, everybody's gouging the prices. Now, the problem is that in order to preserve the right to be a Viva Decor importer, they have to get a minimum order of 800 per color. And they said that it doesn't look like there is enough demand of Pardo on the American and Canadian markets, so they are not going to bring anymore the jewelry and the mica and the art clay. They will only bring the translucent clay, those 6 of them. And this is why we started the Pardo petition, because what you see now on polyclay play is all the stock that is left in the United States. That is it. There is no more. This is why we started the petition. If we run completely out of stock, the only thing we will still have will be the translucent, and that's the transparent pink, blue, aqua, yellow, and orange. And then the rest will have to buy it from Europe. Yes. Well, if you want to be the supplier of Pardo for North America, yeah, usually this is what it is required. When you want to keep the dealer representative stuff, there are requirements of quantity. And if we cannot show that, yes, there would be at least 1,000 of us who work with Pardo, they will not bring more, because they cannot justify investing money in a merchandise that will not sell. And I mean, I don't know, you know what? They're perfectly right to think that way, because it's not like somebody's going to invest millions of dollars just for us to maybe buy a package here and there. And if they don't see that there are enough artists in the US that use Pardo, that would justify for them to get. I had posted on the other clay ones, that Bodley Crafts, a shop that does have all the colors, at least for now. But that's the whole idea. We need to prove to Viva Decor, because that was the bad thing is that when Pardo first arrived in North America, those idiots, because I cannot call them otherwise, at both Michaels and Hobby Lobby, when they, not only that part of the shipment was half baked, and they still put it out for sale, but also they put out Pardo for sale with absolutely no instructions. So people not knowing that it's supposed to be conditioned differently, when they put it in the machine and it started crumbling, they were like, oh, this is baked clay, this is poor quality clay. And this is why Pardo flopped from the start on the US market. And from the things that I've been doing, and I will start in June, I will start making flowers. So you can see how gorgeous the flowers look with Pardo. Um, from the start, Pardo was a flop in the US. So this is a conjoined effort of several artists, and Trish is trying desperately to promote the Pardo as well because she loves it as well. And there's quite a few artists who, like me, consider Pardo the best polymer clay. And it is. I mean, you see what things you can do with it. It is absolutely impossible to compare with any other clay. I mean, Cernit, no, Cernit will has, yes, it can. It can be used in canes, but I would suggest you use art clay. And I said before, I suggest you use the art line for canes because the lines are slightly different in texture and manipulation. And the art one is much better suited for canes. And not only that, but the art line is a true color. So whenever you mix it, it's true they don't have a lot of colors, but it's exactly like Fimo Professional. Whenever you mix colors from the art line, they will be the true colors. You don't get, it's not an artist palette like Primo. You won't get surprises of mixing white and yellow and getting lime, you know. Yes, yes, we did some flowers with Pardo, and you've seen how ethereal they look. They are absolutely gorgeous. Yes, we will do more flowers, definitely. But I told you, even I have to buy certain colors. I buy them from Bodley Crafts because I cannot find them with Trish. The good part is that Bodley Crafts doesn't have a huge price and a huge shipping price, and they ship very fast. So it wasn't too bad. Because when we ran out, I don't know if you remember, but when I did the Mother of Pearl tutorial, everybody was crazy because they couldn't find platinum anymore. And it was actually funny because when I found Bodley Crafts, there was one of my subscribers and friends of mine, Deborah. I had no idea that she had found the store. So I put some platinum and some gold and some stuff in my cart. She does the same, but then she went to look for Mother of Pearl. And in the meantime, I check out. So when she went back to her cart, there was no more platinum because I had snatched the last platinums. So yeah, that was kind of, but yeah, if you do not find certain colors, I recommend you go with Bodley Crafts because it is a pretty good store. So I guess I will be finishing this here, and we will do the Amazonite probably next week. I will still keep the Sunday. We'll continue doing the box, okay? Because we still need to finish this, and I will do sometime next week the Amazonite on live. Okay, so I hope you had fun and you will try your calcite, yellow calcite, and you will love it. And yeah, I promise I will be trying to hurry up with the distache because I have a ton of stuff that needs to go. So have a wonderful evening and hold your fingers crossed for me because we are supposed to have severe weather again tonight. So have a great evening. Bye.